Hello everyone, this is Taliesin McKnight. Thank you for joining me. Today we will examine the ancient Egyptian beliefs about the afterlife. So the ancient Egyptians and their beliefs on the afterlife. There are a lot of available sources to look at. We have a lot of available information about the Egyptian afterlife. We have the pyramid texts, we have the coffin text, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, we have the Book of Amtuat, we have the Book of Gates, the Book of Breathings. So there are a lot of ancient texts, a lot of available sources to look at. And in the upcoming videos, we will examine the sources themselves. It's very important, if you're going to study something, if you're going to get on the internet and talk about it, that you quote the source, you go to the source. And in my upcoming videos, we will look at the original text of the Egyptians and see what they believed in their own words. Now, as I said, there's a lot of available sources. It's not really debatable what they believed because there's such a wealth of material out there. For one thing, we have the pyramid texts. The pyramid texts were written on the walls of the pyramids at Saqqara, and they date back to the Old Kingdom, and they talk about the Egyptian afterlife. What other material do we have? We have the coffin text of the First Intermediate Period and the Middle Kingdom. These are inscribed mostly upon the coffins, but sometimes upon the walls and upon papyrus. Then we also have the Egyptian Book of the Dead. The Egyptian Book of the Dead was written during the Second Intermediate and New Kingdom. Often it was upon papyrus. Now the Egyptian Book of the Dead is a list of spells that are to aid the dead in the afterlife. And the Egyptian Book of the Dead describes the afterlife. What other material do we have? We have the Book of Amtuat, the Book of Gates, and the Book of Breathings. So there's a lot of available information, a lot of source material. And in the upcoming videos, we will look at the text itself. Today, I would like to give an introduction. The ancient Egyptians believed strongly in the afterlife. We are looking at ancient Egypt, the people that built the pyramids. We know they believed in an afterlife. And we know that the afterlife is linked to the Egyptian god Osiris. Now, how do we know this? Because the pyramid text of King Yunus calls the dead pharaoh Osiris Yunus. So the dead pharaoh is constantly referred to in the text as Osiris. And offerings are given to him called the Eye of Horus, perhaps designed to resurrect or revive the ka of the pharaoh. And then the pharaoh is told to rise to the realm of the gods. The coffin text talks about the judgment hall of Osiris, the judgment of the dead. The Book of the Dead talks about the judgment, as does the Book of Gates and the Book of Amtuat. So the Egyptians believed in an afterlife, the immortality of the soul, and they believed in the judgment of the dead. So we are judged in the afterlife. What is the afterlife of the Egyptians? We don't see much proof or evidence to show that they believed in any kind of reincarnation. It seems that the Egyptians believed, the majority of the Egyptians believed in eternal life. And there is the judgment of the dead. If you live a noble and righteous life, then you go to the heavenly abode called Aru. But the wicked are punished. And sometimes it seems that the wicked don't partake of eternal life. In the judgment hall of Osiris, the soul is weighed against the feather of Mot. Mot being the goddess of justice, order, truth. The word Mot means truth, righteousness. It means straight. It means order, justice. So the soul is weighed against the feather of Mot. We have the negative confessions. The 42 negative confessions are found in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, in which the dead soul says, I have not stolen. I have not desecrated the temple of the gods. I have not killed. I have not committed adultery. So the 42 negative confessions, the righteous soul tells how he has not done all these evil deeds. The heart is weighed against Mot, or truth. The righteous go to the heavenly abode, and the wicked, those who had a bad judgment, are hacked into pieces and thrown into the fire. Or they are devoured by the goddess Amit. The goddess Amit is depicted with the head of a crocodile, the front legs of a lion, and the back legs of a hippopotamus. Now, why is the devourer of souls depicted in this form? Well, some Egyptologists believe that the lion, hippopotamus, and crocodile are the three largest man-eaters that the ancient Egyptians knew of. So the righteous are rewarded in a heavenly abode called Aru, and the wicked are punished or devoured. So we see that the ancient Egyptians believed in the immortality of the soul, and they believed in the judgment of the dead. You have the judgment hall of Osiris. And the Book of the Dead shows the god Anubis holding up the scales of Mot, and Thoth writing down the results of the scales, and the goddess Amit waits to devour the soul of the wicked. So you have reward and punishment in the afterlife. You have the heavenly abode called Aru, and you have the punishment of the wicked. So you have reward and punishment. Now, stepping aside from ancient Egypt, looking at different world religions, some people are uncomfortable with the idea of reward and punishment. Well, pretty much every religion on the planet has the concept of judgment in the afterlife. Some religions, such as Hinduism and Buddhism, talk about reward and punishment for your deeds in the next life. This is karma, and that's Hinduism and Buddhism. In those religions, in religions that teach reincarnation, they talk about punishment and reward in the next life. Tibetan Buddhism, in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, it talks about different paradises and hells and heavenly abodes and hells, and then reincarnation. That's Tibetan Buddhism. And then, of course, you have religions like Islam and Christianity with heaven and hell. So most religions in the world, whether they believe in reincarnation or whether they believe in whatever, they believe in a judgment. The righteous are rewarded, the wicked are punished. So that's different world religions. Now we are bringing it back to ancient Egypt. Now the ancient Egyptians had the same concept of reward and punishment. The Egyptians believed in the immortality of the soul. They believed that the souls of the dead are judged for their deeds on earth. The righteous are rewarded and the wicked are punished. This is the judgment hall of Osiris. They also believed that the afterlife is a perilous, dangerous place. We see this from the list of spells in the Egyptian Book of the Dead. So in the afterlife, it's a perilous journey to the judgment hall. And if you make it there, as long as your soul has a proper weighing, then you go to the heavenly abode. Now, the Egyptian concept of paradise for the righteous is called Aru. And Aru is described very much like the physical world. There is the growing of crops, there are houses, you see your family there, various deities. So that is the realm of Aru. Now the Book of Gates and the Book of Amtuat describe 12 different divisions of the underworld, the middle point of which is the judgment hall. So the Book of Gates and the Book of Amtuat from the New Kingdom describe 12 divisions of the underworld and a Nile, a river that flows through it, and that the sun god Ra, when it sets in the west, goes down through the underworld river, rising in the east to sail in his boat across the sky. Now, I will be providing sources so that you could read this for yourself. This is just an introduction video. In the next 2 videos, we will look at the pyramid text of King Yunus, and in the next video, we will look at the Book of Gates. So we will be looking at the original documents itself. So there's no wondering what the Egyptians believed. There's no debating what the Egyptians believed. We will be looking at the original source material. There is a lot of information on what the Egyptians believed. We have the pyramid text, the coffin text, the Egyptian Book of the Dead supporting what they believed. We had the Book of Gates, the Book of Breathings, the Book of Amtuat. So there are many different ancient texts that are translated into English and published online. So we will be examining the source material. So the Egyptians believed in the afterlife and in the judgment of the dead. And there is the judgment. So in the next 2 videos, we will look at the text itself. This is just an introduction, y'all. Thank you for joining me. And once again, this is Taliesin McKnight. And take it easy, y'all.